Hello everyone, Bob Hayden here, Mr. Bob for the HHYF Harness Worth Youth Foundation, taking a look at some of the history of million-dollar races because July marks the 40th anniversary of the very first ever million-dollar race in Meadowlands Pace in 1980. What was the first million-dollar trot? That came back in 1983 when Dwayna won the Hambletonian for Stanley Dancer. The Thoroughbreds had their first million-dollar race back in 1981, the Arlington Million. Now, 5 trainers have won a million-dollar trot and a million-dollar pace. Blair Burgess, Steve Elliott, Chuck Sylvester, Jimmy Takter, and Ray Schnitker. The richest ever race was $2,161,000 back in '84, the Wilson, won by Annihilator. And Land Grant won the other $2 million race back in 1980, just 3 weeks after the first million-dollar race. That was $2,011,000. The first female to appear in a million-dollar race, it was actually $2 million. Ariba back in 1980 finished 4th. Now, how about this? Ron Waples back in 1983 had his first $2 million drives 4 days apart, and he won them both. That's right. He won the Sweetheart with Shannon Fancy and came back to win the Meadowlands Pace with Ralph Hanover, who would later win the Triple Crown. Now, here are the races that have gone for $1 million through the years. The Governor's Cup did it twice. The Peter Horton did it twice. The Sweetheart did it 3 times in a row. The Art Rooney did it once at Yonkers. That's the only half-mile pace that went for $1 million. The Hambletonian, this year, a record 38 straight years for $1 million. No other race can say that. The Meadowlands Pace 30 times. The North America Cup started the first ever in 1987 $1 million race in Canada, won by Jake Lavelle. The Breeders' Crown, Magician in 2000. That was the first 7-figure Breeders' Crown race. Canadian Trotting Classic, the Metro, and last but not least, the Woodrow Wilson went for $1 million 10 times. And get this, the 6 richest races in the history of all harness racing are all Woodrow Wilsons.